Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digimon video. So a couple of days ago we got the unfortunate bit of information that BT04 Great Legend is going to be delayed for the English release, and while that was unfortunate, they did give us some really interesting tidbits of information, and one of those tidbits of information was the fact that they are actually going to be planning on having a pre-release for this booster set. And now we kind of know what it's going to look like to a degree and what they have planned for us, along with some other bits of news in regards to BT04 Great Legend. So going over the pre-release event, it looks like stores have two options on how they want to run it. One is basically just keeping COVID in mind and having an in-store event. And if the store is unable to run any events due to the pandemic, then you could just get the promos just by buying normal product. And then as far as the schedule goes, BT04 did get delayed, so the schedule kind of reflects that delay where it's just taking place a little bit before the official release. So, just your normally pre-release stuff. And then on top of which, we know the contents of what the pre-release kits are going to be holding. So as far as what's going to be in the pre-release kits, it is going to be the Pulsemon promo. It is going to be a Great Legend pre-release pack, and the pre-release pack is going to contain 56 different cards. These packs are going to have a pre-release stamp on them from Great Legends, and they're going to be an uncommon or rare card. And then the winner's card is going to be a foil alt art version of Magna Angemon from the starter deck. And then it looks like one kit is going to be good for up to 8 players. All in all, it's definitely really nice to see Digimon playing around with the fact that they want to do pre-releases. I don't know exactly how the rest of the pre-release is going to be, whether it's a sealed draft or limited event. So it's going to be interesting to see more news develop as far as what the rest of the event is going to be looking like. But it looks like the prizes are going to be really good and totally worth it. And then next, we have a new set of rules, which is going to be basically on name differentiation between English and Japanese versions. So as we can see down here, we're going to be having certain cards that basically not count as other cards. So we have, as the example, Burning Greymon is not going to count as a Greymon, even though he does have Greymon in its name, and this is because Burning Greymon is Vitramon in Japan. So in order to have as much parity between the two cards as possible, even though their names don't reflect it, Burning Greymon will not be treated as a Greymon, and the same thing can go for Doru Greymon and Dex Doru Greymon. So certain cards are going to be basically acting as their Japanese names while having their English names. And then on top of that, we also have Kendo Garurumon not be a Garurumon because his Japanese name doesn't reflect that he's a Garurumon either. So those are some important pieces of information to look out for going forward. Now, some people might call this lazy, and while that kind of is true because they could have just easily used the Japanese names, so that way they didn't even have to bother with writing this whole new set of rules, it's just the fact that a lot of these cards are going to go off of their English translated name based on the anime or some games, so these are the names that more people are familiarizing these characters with. So it only makes sense for them to add this set of rules instead of just making it so that the character's name is something that English players might not be familiar with if they watched the show or played some of the games. And then the last big piece of news and information that we got from today is going to be the product details for the Great Legends expansion. So we know that it is going to be in June. And then we could see the breakdown here. It looks like a booster is still going to contain 12 cards, and a box is still going to contain 24 packs. So it's interesting to note that it looks like even though we are on parity with the Japanese version, they are not switching over to the Japanese model for the English versions, so it looks like things are going to be staying the same. Now, I don't know if pull rates are going to be different or not, but I'm kind of expecting them not to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up changing it a little bit, but regardless, it's definitely good information to have nonetheless. And then we got box topper information, so it looks like the boxes is going to have one of these alt art tamers as a box topper promo. which is going to be pretty nice because some of these cards are really good depending on the type of deck that you're going to be playing or want to be playing. And then it looks like we're still going to be getting dash packs, except this time dash packs are going to be changing just a tiny bit in terms of how you're going to be getting them. So it looks like when you buy 12 packs of Great Legends or 2 starter decks of starter decks 4 through 6 is how you're going to be getting these new dash packs. So basically nothing really changed except for the fact that you could get them by buying 2 of a given starter deck, which is pretty nice because some of these dash pack cards are really, really good. So in terms of what this dash pack is going to hold, it's going to hold one of these 3 cards. It's going to hold a Grand Kawagumon, a Black War Greymon, or a Metal Garurumon, and all 3 of these cards are relatively decent for their respective colors. But wait, there's more. On top of the dash packs that we're going to be getting for every 12 packs that we're getting, which is essentially 2 dash packs per booster, we're also going to be getting this Great Legend Power-Up Pack, which is basically a buy a box reward. So when you buy a box of Great Legends, you're also going to be getting a Power-Up Pack as well. So taking a look at what's going to be in the power-up pack, it looks like a power-up pack is going to contain any 2 of these cards, which is going to be really good because some of these cards are really good for certain decks and really can help shape and change how the English meta is going to develop, considering Japan got these in a later meta. So the fact that these cards are pushed up for our meta, and I definitely like the fact that they are pushing some of these cards up because they just kind of didn't really make sense when they were released in Japan. So it's good to see that these cards are going to have a more meaningful impact on the English meta than they did over in Japan, just because of when these cards are released. And some of these cards just make more sense to be released with BT04, considering they have more direct support with BT04. As I mentioned before, I definitely think a lot of these promos are going to have a huge impact on the English format just because of when they're being released. So the 3 dash pack promos were released in Japan alongside their new starter decks, which they got before BT04. So they were definitely played then, and they're definitely going to be played now with our BT04. Pulsemon was released alongside with their Vitality Bracelet, so he was definitely a really good card then, and he was played a little bit in the BT04, more towards the end, because that's when they got their bracelets in. And then as far as the anniversary cards, they got these in BT05, and the fact that these cards are interacting more with BT04 means that they're going to have a more meaningful and impactful take on our meta. So I definitely think a lot of these cards are going to see a lot more play versus in Japan because of just when they got released. So that's all I really have for this video. As always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.